Mortgage costs, how much and when are they due? In this video, I will cover that. But firstly, I'm Dan, I'm a CeMAP qualified mortgage and protection advisor. This video is purely for educational purposes only. It is not advice, and I must stress your home may be repossessed if you don't keep up with the repayments of the mortgage. With that out of the way, on with the video. So, what are the costs? So occasionally you get what's called an application fee or a booking fee with a lender. Now, they're not common these days, but it can vary between sort of £100, a couple of £100, and that is usually payable up front, and that is non-refundable. Now, lenders, they have products. Some of them come with product fees, which you can add to the mortgage or you can pay up front. If you add it to the mortgage, then I must stress there is basically you're going to pay interest on that. So if you can afford to pay it up front, that part is refundable if the mortgage doesn't go ahead. But it's something, if you're going to go for a mortgage advisor, just double check that or speak to the lender before parting with that. They vary between sort of £500 to £1,500. Okay. Broker fees. Now, these vary. I've covered this in another video. These could typically be between sort of, I don't know, £150, anywhere up to maybe £1,500, £2,000. Depends on the broker and when the payment's sort of due. Some brokers will take it on completion, others will charge you up front. Some are refundable, some are non-refundable. So you actually, if you're going to apply to a mortgage broker, ask them how much of their services, when they occur, and what parts are refundable, if refundable at all. Another cost that you're going to have is evaluation cost. So you've got two main types of survey. There are actually three, but I'll cover off the two main ones. You've got a standard valuation, which is a mortgage valuation, and you'll have a home buyer's report. A standard valuation is primarily for the mortgage lender. It just lets them know whether or not the property is mortgageable. And what I mean by that is if they were to repossess the property because you've missed the payments, can they basically put that back on the market and get a quick sale? If they can't, then they're not going to lend. But just because a property is mortgageable doesn't necessarily make it habitable. With standard valuation, some lenders will actually cover the cost for these, so there is actually no cost to you at all. If they don't, it depends on the property value. Typically they're sort of £200 to £300, but they can go up to thousands of pounds if the property's in the millions. Home buyers report, they're usually £300 to £400 on top of the standard valuation cost. So again, if you're actually buying a property, it might be worth effectively have a home buyers report so you know that the property you're buying is suitable to live in. Solicitors. One thing I must stress is cheapest isn't always best. It really depends. If you want an online solicitor, they may be charged between £400 to I don't know £600. Whereas if you want to go and visit a solicitor, they might charge a little bit more for the services. They typically could be, I don't know, £1,000 to £2,000. Again, it depends on the area that the solicitors operate from. If you're going to buy in the heart of London, for example, and you're using a solicitor from London, their services might be a little bit higher because of their business costs are higher. So again, that sort of depends on the solicitor. When you speak to a solicitor, they typically ask you for about £300 up front. Now, this is to cover search costs, so drainage searches, environmental searches, bankruptcy searches, local searches. There's quite a few searches that need to be done when purchasing a property, and these sort of range between £300 to £400. Something I will say is perhaps hold back on paying the searches costs up front initially until you're comfortable, or your mortgage broker's comfortable, the lender is comfortable that they're going to do the mortgage. You don't want to be spending out £300-400 on local searches only to find that your application isn't going to be successful. So I'd wait personally. Other costs that may come along with the solicitors is they may charge extra for handling a leasehold property or buy-to-let. Some lenders also are a little bit more work than others. So a solicitor may charge an extra £100, £150 for dealing with a specific mortgage lender. So you've got to really approach a solicitor and ask them up front what is your costs. You know, mention who your mortgage lender is going to be, the area you're purchasing, what type of property it is, because some solicitors, you know, they'll just have a fee that will cover everything, whereas others, they might start off cheaper but start to add as you know, as these things unfold, and you don't want to be sort of hit with unexpected costs. Deposit. You'll be aware of how much deposit you're actually going to need, whether it's 5%, 10%, 15% of the property value. This is payable on exchange along with stamp duty. Stamp duty, again, this varies whether or not you're a first-time buyer or an additional homeowner. You'd need a mortgage advisor or use a stamp duty calculator online, but the solicitor will effectively be the one to calculate this properly. You'd be sent out a mortgage questionnaire and they will send back a breakdown of funds of how much you're going to need on completion, but it's something you really want to be aware of up front. It's a bit late by the time you come to exchange. Other costs that you may not be expecting is removal costs. So if you're actually moving home, whether it's been you're renting at the moment or you already own your home, you're going to need to probably pay for a removal van. Estate agents, these are going to vary. You know, some are going to charge more than others. Some will refund the whole amount if the property transaction falls through. Others may not be refundable after a certain point. So speak to them, find out how much is going to be due, when it's non-refundable. Hopefully you found all of this information helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, please give me a thumbs down. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to the channel. This also helps me grow and bring all of this content to you. Look forward to seeing you next week. If you want to see a video on self-employed mortgages and how to get one, please watch this video. And if you want to see a video on how to get on the property ladder with your parents' help, please watch this video.